Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Higgins from Higgins Storm Chasing. It is Friday, the 3rd of the 6th, 2016. Okay, in this video, we will look at the severe weather upcoming for southeast Queensland and also the current situation. All right, on the weather zone radar, you can see a big band of thunderstorms there through central parts of inland Queensland. They are severe warned for damaging winds, heavy rain and large hail. There's been some good falls out there, up to 35 in Charleville and near 70 at Blackall, I think, and also good falls around through the central west districts. Along the coast, it's been a little bit light on so far, though Sunshine Coast picked up an isolated 40-odd mil there, and generally there have been some isolated showers through the region through the day. You can see that activity starting to increase now along the coast from about Rockhampton south. That is due to the strengthening of the onshore winds and the approach of the upper level trough and surface trough, which destabilises the atmosphere. But overall, tonight, for the rest of tonight, we do expect this band to continue to produce rain and thunderstorms with some potentially moderate to heavy falls, especially under the thunderstorms. And this could also thicken down in here through southern Queensland inland parts, while along the coast the showers will become more frequent and may even tend to rain areas before the bulk of the activity comes through tomorrow. So let's move on to tomorrow and have a look. This is the 24-hour rainfall forecast from the Bureau of Meteorology. Now you can see here anywhere areas from Fraser Island south to Coolangatta, at least 100 mil there. From Brisbane over the Gold Coast and Scenic Rim, 150. Okay, so that's just on a broad forecast. That's generally what you would expect. And then obviously further inland it does taper off. But anywhere from Rocky South to about St. George, areas of 50 mil there also as the system moves through. What we'll be interested in is for the trough to deepen here just near Fraser Island, or an east coast low to develop, or a surface low to develop here early Saturday morning. Let's move on and have a look at the some other rainfall totals here now. This is through BSCH. This is OCF. It's another combination model, if you like. It generally outputs conservative forecast totals. So a lot of the times we can see some of these double in a situation like this. So if it's saying 50, then it could be 100. Down here around Coffs Harbour and that, 95 could be 200 there. That's for tomorrow, for Saturday. But you can generally see where the heaviest rainfall is expected from about Fraser Island to Toowoomba, to Warwick and east, and especially along the southeast coast. All right, so currently, at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, I'll show you something here. This is a surface trough. You can see where the winds are feeding in from the northeast. Vast amounts of moisture there coming in off the ocean. And you can see the surface trough running down in here through the Darling Downs, extending down into northern inland New South Wales, with dry westerlies behind it. So this is where we'd expect activity to be located, or in this vicinity at least anyway, tomorrow morning, with a band of showers and thunderstorms, possible moderate to heavy falls through there, while the onshore flow will continue to generate scattered showers and rain areas from about Bundaberg south at this stage at 4 a.m. Now, as we progress through, what we'll be looking for, especially by mid-morning, on the radar is any development of rotation in the rain here near Fraser Island or along the coast. All right, what that will indicate to us is that a low is developing and or has developed. Once we see the rain starting to spin here on the coast, can be hard to pick up, but to the trained eye we'll certainly be able to identify that. Now what that means generally straight away is if once this surface low develops or east coast low develops here, the winds will generate. They'll be coming in from the south and southeast a lot harder, obviously with the spin. That's where we may get damaging winds down the coast. Now rainfall also increases because it's tightening the pressure gradients. Everything's becoming squeezed into a smaller area. All that moisture is getting pumped onto the southern side of the low. Around the top side from Rocky to Bundy, looks like that the weather will clear through during Saturday morning, and you'll be left with showers, but it should, most of the bulk of the heavy rain will clear towards the south. And you will see that on the radar tomorrow. The heavy rain will start up here around the central Queensland coast and then slowly slide down towards the south. We do also expect a continuation of showers and thunderstorms and rain areas through the Darling Downs down in New South Wales there, where the original surface trough remains in place, but it's obviously pushing through to the coast, and then that low is developing there. We'll progress on to 4 p.m. and have a look to see what happens. Obviously, the longer these things become developed, the more stronger they become. So the initial development here at Fraser Island, and then as it moves towards the south, towards Brisbane and the Gold Coast, it does strengthen. These are low-level winds, and we're picking them up there at 45 knots, about 90 k's an hour there along the coast, coming in from the northeast or southeast there, depending if the low spins up. But you can certainly see that activity by 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon will be very, very focused on the southeast coast district, and obviously extending down into northeast New South Wales as well. 10 p.m. Saturday, just to show you, by 10 p.m. Saturday, all of the rain, the heavy rain, should have cleared southeast Queensland. Dry southwesterly winds behind it. All right, and then the focus of activity will shift further south down in northeast New South Wales. You can see the low there over Lismore in the winds spinning there, and a very deep trough down the coast. These winds are really ripping in to eastern New South Wales, generating heavy rain for obviously very late Saturday and into Sunday for those guys down there. Have a look what causes all this sort of stuff, and how do we know, and you know, what reflects the rainfall. What do we look out for? All right, so this is just to give you an example. It's about 10 p.m. Saturday. You can see in the mid levels of the atmosphere a very cold pool of air, minus 20 at about 18,000 feet there, and obviously with all the warm, moist winds feeding into this cold pool region, or upper trough, upper low, it's almost a low because it is also spinning there as well. It greatly decreases instability, utilises all the moisture coming in, and dumps it back down on us as heavy rain. Now, as we get these systems coming in from the west like this towards the warm ocean, it decreases the atmosphere so much that we end up with an area of generated low pressure along the coast, all right, and that's what we look out for. They're the ones that do most of the damage of these lows that spin up, and I'll show you why shortly. Move over to some of the 3-hour rainfall totals. Now, I've started at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, so we should see obviously inland there, rain's continuing inland there on the downs, but along the coast activity will start to increase, especially around anywhere from Rocky to Fraser Island. You can see bullseye targets there, 30 mil in 3 hours. And then it starts to come down towards the south. So by 10 a.m., so anywhere between 7 and 10 a.m., areas from about Bundaberg to Brisbane, especially the Sunshine Coast, could start to see heavy rain. You can see the low starting to spin up there. All right. Now, what happens is, all of the moisture gets drug in onto the backside of that, comes in over land and then into the hinterland region or just along the coast from the southeast. But up above that, you've got winds coming across the system from the north. Now, as the thunderstorms build and they go up with height, they start down low and they go up with height. Because the whole atmosphere is spinning, the thunderstorm's not being pushed this way, east or west or south. It sits there. Caboolture last year, 350 mil in a couple of hours. That's what these sort of systems have the potential of doing, and that's why they get warned so much, because there is an elevated risk of that happening. It's not a guarantee, but there's an elevated risk. So we may as well just go out and say, look guys, this is the setup, there's an elevated risk, thought you should know, put out the warnings, yes, heavy rain's expected, and it could get very, very heavy, leading to flash flooding over areas. They're very hard to pinpoint. Even with these high resolution models, we can sort of basically say, well, anywhere from about Bundy to Coolangatta. Hey, but that's good enough. Just put everyone on alert to keep an eye out. As we scroll through here to 1 p.m, you can see that the areas of heavy rain do slide down towards the south over Brisbane. And then by 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon over the Gold Coast, this is obviously tracking down if the low or the trough deepens and develops and slides south. Okay, so heavy rain starts in the north tomorrow, slides towards the south, but watch out for very dangerous thunderstorms that may develop. over the coastal and hinterland regions. Those are the ones that cause severe flash flooding and can take lives. They have done in the past. They will do again, because people just don't seem to get it that you just don't drive into floodwaters. Anyway, all we can do is pass on the message. Now, what I want to do is I might scroll back here just really quickly. I'm trying to keep this video short. We're up to 10 minutes already. Time flies. I'm going to try and drop a, excuse me, an atmospheric plot in here to show you. This is about Brisbane at lunchtime. You can see the winds. This is a low-level winds here, okay? See the wind barbs coming in from the northeast. Then they turn around and go to the north and then the northwest. That's where the atmosphere starts to spin and rotate. Over here, you've got two red lines. They indicate the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. The closer they are together, 100%. Look, from the surface to 40,000 feet, the atmosphere is saturated. 100%. 100% of moisture all the way. All right? So all you need is a little bit of convergence in the winds, a bit of a squeeze, an area of a thunderstorm develops, and poo hits the fan, all right, for certain people. So keep on your toes tomorrow, everyone. The heavy rain is welcome. It will be very welcome for everyone. However, it could also be dangerous, okay, especially along the coast, where we're also expecting to have abnormally high tides and dangerous surf, beach erosion. Stay away from the beach, everyone. It's going to get pretty nasty. I might go down to the foreshore and do a video, see if we can pull some crazy waves and foam happening again. That was a bit of a spectacle last year. Don't forget to head over and subscribe to Higgins Storm Chasing, guys, on our website, higginsstormchasing.com, and subscribe to become a member. And you will gain access to our highly detailed maps, 365 days of the year, which focus on Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria, and we also cover the rest of Australia with our own mapping and forecasts, and that keeps us going over there, guys. Everyone who has subscribed so far, thank you very much for supporting us, and we hope you enjoy our content. All right, guys, that's enough from me. We'll do some live video updates tomorrow. There'll be some live videos flicking around, some photos, but all in all, please stay safe, be aware, be prepared, and if it's flooded, forget it. All right, thanks very much for watching.